Okay. There we go. Okay, perfect. I hope everyone can hear me. I'd just like to thank Knowledge for being here. And then also the rest of the panel, Puka and Joss, thank you for joining me. Hello, Yua, to your Prim Caucus. You're our first candidate of the day. How this caucus is going to work is you have your 6 minutes for your speech, which will start as soon as I'm done. And I will put my camera off. And when you have 30 seconds left, I'll put my camera back on again. And then you'll know you have 30 seconds and you can just finish off. And then after that, you'll have your Q&A, which I will explain further when we get there. So you are more than welcome to start your speech when you're ready.
Okay, cool. So I had to Google whether 6 o'clock meant I had to say good evening or good afternoon. And according to Google, it is the hour exactly in between. So I'm just going to hit you with the hey, I'm Yue. And I would like to use the next 6 minutes to give you an insight into what I believe I would be able to lead Aristia as Primaria in the year to come. So I would like to start off with my view of Aristia, or what I believe our purpose is. And I would like to do so by a quote written by Dan Zadra. So the quote goes, "The happiness of life is made up of little things: a smile, a helping hand, a caring heart, a word of praise, a moment of shared laughter. We are most alive in these moments. Savor them all." And I feel like this quote just perfectly encompasses what I believe the purpose of Aristia is. I can't promise every first year that walks into Aristia that they will find their home away from home and they will find their bridesmaids here. And even though I have been privileged enough to find both of those within our community, that is not the purpose of why we are there. I really believe we are there to put a smile on our Aris faces, to lend a helping hand wherever we can, to show them we care about them, to give them a word of praise for their accomplishments, and now and then just let them laugh. Other than that, when I think of Aristia, I think of us as cook sisters. I think of us as that we stick together, we're solid, we're intertwined. And frankly, I think everyone in Aristia is a whole snack. And yeah, that's basically my view on just the way I see Aristia. So I would like to slide directly into my vision if I was privileged enough to be Primaria for the year to come. So I would really like to put a magnifying glass on the helping hand part of the quote I just read. So I was the social impact HE for this year, and it lies very close to my heart. And even though we got to do a lot of things this year in terms of social impact, there's still a lot more I'd wish to do. So in terms of social impact, I really do believe that we have the opportunity to incorporate social impact into most, if not all, of our events. I would also like to keep going with the 10 Rand initiative I pitched at my speech last year. And just to quickly sum that up, it basically entailed that whenever we have an event that costs money, our members will have the opportunity to donate 10 Rand on top of their entrance fee, that we will then use to help lighten the financial load for anyone who wants to attend house dance. So we did do this at House Funds Dance this year because it was the only paid event we had. And we did generate some money over there, but obviously we couldn't use it this year for house dance, but I'm sure it will come into use next year. So yes, that is the one big vision I have. The other vision is very simple. I don't believe Aristia is a place. I think we are obviously a group. And within this group, I want everyone to feel supported, uplifted, and welcome. And these are 3 things that are very important. Wrong. Did you lose me now? My computer
Yes, we lost you for a second, but you can just go back to where you said Aristia as a group. That's the last place we left you. But I paused your time so you can continue.
Okay, cool. Sorry, no, it just went down. Okay, cool. The last one is very simple. I don't believe Aristia as a place. I believe we are a group. And within this group, I would really love everyone to feel supported, uplifted, and welcome. These are three things that Aristia has given me throughout the last 3 years, and it's been absolute privilege to keep on giving that to everyone who walks through our doors. And I believe these goals and visions of mine will be supported by my leadership styles, which are mainly servant and affiliative leadership, which basically entails the fact that I value emotional bonds within my team very highly, and the needs of my team gets prioritized very highly on the prioritization list. I also make use of situational leadership. I believe I have the ability to change my leadership styles according to the situations I'm in, making use of democratic leadership, and so forth. And then also, of course, touching on value-based leadership, making use of Aristia's values in all the decisions we make as a team. So yes, that's that on the value-based and all the leadership styles. So yeah, the year ahead is once again a very unpredictable one, but I am willing and eager to take it on with you if you'll have me. So thank you. That is all.
Thank you so much, Yua. That was a lovely speech, and I really look forward to seeing those visions come to life if you were to be elected. So we've officially come to the Q&A part of your session. This is usually the part that makes everyone a little nervous, but you shouldn't be. It's just like a little conversation. You already know the people on our panel, and we have Knowledge here as well. Knowledge, you're more than welcome to pop in at any point if you'd like to ask a question. How the Q&A session is going to work, you'll have your 10 minutes. You did finish your speech a few seconds earlier, so we will be able to, if you have one question running over time a little bit, you'll still be in your caucus time. And you'll have 2 set questions that we're asking to all the candidates. And then from there on, we will be asking both questions from the panel and from the house that we gathered throughout the day. So I'm going to give to Joss to ask you your first standardized question.
Okay.
Good evening, Yua. Hello. It is nice to see you. I hope that you are not feeling too nervous. You really don't need to be, as Carly said. You know us. And yes, this is just for us to see the true you shine through. So your first question that I have for you is, the criteria for Primaria is that you have served as a mentor or on the House committee the term before. This year, all 3 of our Primaria candidates have been on the House committee, and now you are standing again. In what way will you be able to do a better job next year than you did this year?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, unfortunately, I think if we all get vaccinated, or most of us get vaccinated, I think we will have a lot more opportunities in terms of events and actually seeing each other. I think that was the worst part of the last 2 years, is really building that tight bond between the Aris if we don't get to see each other. So that's definitely, like, just having events, just seeing each other will really help our community just be stronger. In terms of what I do more or differently in the year to come, there's still a lot of social impact initiatives that I didn't get a chance to do this year. I know, I don't have to go into them, but there was still quite a lot that I was planning on doing that I couldn't do due to whatever reasons, whether the term was shorter than I thought it was going to be, or whether it was COVID. There's still so much I have left to do. And yeah, was the question about what I would do differently or what I still want to do? Sorry. You're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. I think it incorporates both. So, Yua, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a bit.
Can you hear me?
You're being a bit. Yeah, you're in and out of it.
You are?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. You too. Okay, I'll try again. So yes, it does incorporate. What would you do differently, or what would you? Okay, what would you do differently, or what would you want to improve on next year?
Okay, improve and differently. Okay, cool. Other than that, all what I already mentioned, I would really love to build more on who I am as a leader. I think I got a little bit of like a taster this year, but I think there's still so much I have left to learn, and I would love to have the opportunity to learn more with being in a Primora position. I don't think you learn the same things in general HE than you do in Primora at all. And it would be an honor to be able to learn more and to be able to take that into the rest of my journey. And yeah, I think that especially social impact, I know I've already said that, but there's so much I still want to do. So yeah.
Thank you, Yua. I am going to ask your next question. So this is also a standardized question that will be asked to everyone. And the question is, do you consider yourself a thought leader or a transformational leader, and why?
Between those two, I definitely think thought-based, just because transformational is a lot of pushing the team outside of their comfort zones, like specifically me intentionally pushing them out of their comfort zones. And I think in HE, enough of our tasks and things we have to do push them out of their comfort zones enough. I don't think I need to put them in a position where I push them out of their comfort zones even more. And therefore, I lean more to the thought-based leadership. I think I am quite opinionated, and I think that's something that is strong within thought-based leadership style. And I think I do have the ability to make dreams a realization. I have a very, very logical and realistic way of thinking. And I think that enables me to think very clearly about what would be realistic within our community, and what would be viable to take further. Because it is, especially in new HE with new members, a lot of dreams, a lot of hopes. I was one of them. And I think now having a more logical viewpoint, even more so than I had at the beginning of the year, definitely puts me more on the thought-based leadership style. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. That was a great answer, Yua. I'm going to give over to our panel now. So if any of you would like to ask a question first.
Yeah, I have a question for our lovely Jua. So I see that like in your speech, you seem very passionate about social impact, and sort of have all these ideas that you'd like to do within social impact. So what I want to know is that don't you think that you'd be more effective in the coming term as a social impact HC than a Prim, in the next HC? Yeah. So how would you manage that? And like, yeah, and also if you were to be elected as Prim, don't you think that then all the ideas that would have would in how would you manage that, with someone else that has their own vision for social impact and all of that? If the question makes sense. I hope.
Yeah. No, it does. Okay. So basically, like I said in my vision, I would like to incorporate social impact into most, if not all of our events, which means that social impact will sometimes fall outside of the HE that has social impact as a specific portfolio. It will become their responsibility, but I would like it to make everyone in the team's responsibility to think of a social impact initiative that will work with their event. The social impact HE can then run it and be responsible for it, but I want the whole team to work together in thinking of ways that we can lend a helping hand, whether it be in our own community, whether it be outside of our community. I really do believe there's always a helping hand that can be lent to someone. So I don't mind giving over to social impact HE and letting them run the ideas. I want to be able to coordinate between all of the different portfolios and make sure that they all have an aspect of helping out in some way. And I believe that that's why Primoria will be an ideal position in that sense. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Yua. I have a question for you as well. This is actually a house question. And the question is, what qualities do you believe leaders today lack?
Ooh, that's a nice question. I think I would have to choose between either compassion or where was the other one now? I had the second one. Okay, let's just roll with compassion until I figure the other one out. So yeah, I think compassion. I think sometimes, especially in a big group like RSDR, we have a lot of members. It can become hard to really zoom into every member and really understand where they come from, why they are the way they are. And that sometimes can become frustrating when we struggle with participation or when we don't understand why we aren't understood as an HE or our leadership isn't understood or the decisions we make gets misunderstood. So I think to have compassion even when you don't know people, I think is a leadership style, a leadership trait that people lack. I feel like a lot of people need to get to know others before they are able to give that compassion. And in a leadership position like Primoria of Aristia, you will never know everyone. And I think it's important. I'm going off now. But yes, I think compassion is the thing that they lack most, just because they don't know everyone. Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Thank you, Yua. I'm going to give over to Joss. It looks like she has a question for us.
Yes. So Yua, in your application, you did mention that stubbornness is one of your greatest weaknesses. And now in your speech, you also mentioned that you have many different leadership styles and you're adaptable to them. And I'd just like to know, can you just explain a bit on how those two link?
My stubbornness and the fact that I'm adaptable.
Yes.
Okay. So when I say stubbornness is one of my weak points, I also believe in a way it's one of my strengths. But to go to the weakness part, it basically, what I mean when I say that is I have strong opinions in certain aspects and certain topics, but that doesn't mean I'm not swayable in many other places. I also am very much aware of the fact that I'm working in a team and it's not just my opinion that matters, and I'm very considerate in terms of that. I think my stubbornness gets cancelled out my considerateness a lot of the time, and I think when you're working with a team and none of them agree with the point I see, I will definitely not just bulldoze over that, and I think that's where the adaptability comes in. The happiness and like I said, with the affiliative and servant leadership style, my team's needs are a very, very high priority to me, and the emotional bonds as well. And I will be willing to adapt for them, just because their happiness is so important in my view to a happy team and a good working team. And I don't think my stubbornness will get in the way of that. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Yua. I think we might just have time for maybe two, but let's just see if we can get one more. Does someone else have another question? Puka, you put your screen on. Do you have a question for us? You're muted, Puka.
My apologies. Just a question from the house that's very interesting. What encouraged you to run for this position?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like I have learned a lot in my general HE position. And like I said, I just don't believe you learn the same things in general HE than you do in a Primora position. There's a lot of leadership style growth that I definitely still want to do. And I don't think that I have that opportunity within my general HE position. So I would like to do that growth within the Primora position. And honestly, my pride for Aristia, like I'm really so proud to be part of Aristia and to be able to be the person behind the scenes running it. I mean, it would be such an honor. And I think that was my two main reasons for standing.
Okay, thank you, Yua. That is about all we have time for, since we did start about 2 minutes earlier. Thank you so much. You had an absolutely great caucus. I really appreciated your calmness, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much, and have a lovely evening further.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye.